All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sulpa, and thank you, first of all, for coming at such a short notice. And so sorry about the delay because we've been rescheduling it for quite a lot of times. But I hope that we'll be able to solve each other's queries today. All right. So I'll first give you all a very brief intro about IGCSE, and then we could discuss a few questions and the current situations that we have regarding IGCSE. So let me just, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
So we'll start with the basics. So this is the Cambridge pathway that we generally look at. So couple of queries were regarding the little ones as well. So I thought I'll just take you all through. So we have 4 different sections in Cambridge. The first being Cambridge Primary, which is for children who are in the age group of 5 to 11. Now, when we are talking about this particular thing and how to go about it, so there are checkpoints exams which happen at grade 6 and grade 8 level. However, our kids are homeschooled, so they wouldn't have an option to give those checkpoint exams. But in some cities, if we go and talk to the IGCSE schools and request them that will they allow our child to write the exam, they do allow such cases on payment of a specific exam fee that they charge. So one of my friend had done it, and I think she paid about 15,000 for grade 8 examination for all the subjects that the child wanted to, like they had, whatever subjects they had in the school. The second is the Cambridge Lower Secondary, which is for age groups 11 and 14, 11 to 14. And all your 10th standard subjects would be also taken care of over here. So they start exploring different subjects, like, for example, say business studies and all those things. Then you have the upper secondary, wherein you will be taking your board exam. That is your 10th standard, which is O levels. And then you have the advanced, Cambridge Advanced, which is basically your AS and your A levels. Now, apart from that, you also have 2 other programs that have come up, like AICE, which is a diploma kind of a thing, which was started somewhere in 1997. And that's working very well. That gives an overedge above the AS levels. And also you have something which is called as IPQ, which is basically International Project Qualification, which is again an in-depth research work basically about a particular topic that is interesting to the child. And then they get some extra reward points and credit points for their admission protocol. So I will talk a little more about it when we come to the AS level section. Now, IGCSE basically stands for International General Certification of Secondary Education, which is equivalent to your 10th standard exams in India. There are 2 boards which actually offer Cambridge examinations. So basically the CIE or the Edexcel, they come under the category of a UK examination board called as AQA. And now there very soon there will be another board that would be launched that would be called as Oxford International Curriculum, OIC. So we will now have 3 boards who will offer the AQA exams, which is the examination body of UK. So we have these options as of now. So as of today, we have 2 options. One is CIE and one is Edexcel. Now, Edexcel is a very, very popular board. Edexcel Pearson is very popular down south. Whereas if you're looking at places which are towards the western side or the northern side, CIE is more popular in those regions. So depending on which area you'll reside in, it could be dependent on that whether you want to take CIE or Edexcel as the board of choice. But both are equal and both offer the same kind of things. More information about Cambridge as such, overall everything about Cambridge, you will get it on www.cambridgeinternational.org, which is a very, very nice and very informative site. It's also very hassle free because you can navigate it based on your requirements. So very simple site to follow, unlike NIOS. Next is some of the parents had asked me what is the difference between IGCSE and ICE and what is the advantage of it. Now, ICE is also very similar to your IGCSE examination. The only difference is that in ICE, the mandatory requirement is 7 subject selection. Whereas in IGCSE, the child needs to select 5 subjects of his choice in any groups. Now, Cambridge entire syllabus has been divided into 5 subgroups. One being languages, second is humanities and social sciences, third is sciences, mathematics, and professional and creative. Now, when we talk about IGCSE, the child is free to choose one subject from each group or choose 2 subjects from a particular group and 1 language or 2 languages and 3 other subjects in any combination. But if you're doing ICE, which is a 7 subject mandatory thing, you need to compulsory have 2 languages, which can be one is English mandatory, and the second other language can be any foreign language. And then you will have to choose 1 subject from each of the groups. So 1 subject from humanities, one from sciences, maths, and professional and creative development. So you need to select all of these subjects mandatory. So that makes your total of 7 subjects. Now, if we try to compare between IGCSE and ICE, one of the things that I have noticed is that ICE gives you 2 extra credit points per subject when you're going for your admissions abroad. So that helps as an overedge because the idea of giving ICE is that you're showing them that our child is capable of doing all subjects, like basically showing them that the child is all rounder, right? So that is what is the whole model of ICE. But if you're thinking from a child's perspective, then ICE can get a little hectic for the child because they have to do the entire coursework and the ATP and everything for all of these subjects wherever possible. So that is like too many papers for the child to do. So, for example, if I'm taking, say, 1 science also or 2 sciences, I am basically looking at 6 papers, right? One is the core paper, then the MCQ, and then the ATP, that is alternate to practical. So I feel even if there are 2 sciences, there are 6 papers already. And then, each language has another 2 papers. So it gets too many papers for the child when you're looking at 7 subjects as a whole. So 5 subjects is much more manageable from the child's perspective. However, if there is a plan to do ICE and we start, say, 2 years before the timeline, like for example, if my kid is tomorrow giving an exam in 24, I need to start the preparations 2 years before that. So I need to start his 10th standard preparation right now in 22. So it's a very comfortable timeline for the child to finish the syllabus. So that is the whole idea of how we can manage our time with respect to the completion of the syllabus with understanding. So that's the thing. Now, 10th standard we have spoken about. Now, AS and A levels is basically equivalent to your 12th and 13th. Now, when I say 13th year, so according to Indian standards, that's the first year of your graduation. So sometimes if you are doing like an A level, advanced level, then they are allowing you in some universities, if you tell them that I have a subject done at A levels, they are allowing you the concession and directly giving you admission for the second year. But that is again university to university specific. So wherever we are applying, we need to kind of get in touch with the college and find out that whether they need a particular combination of A level subjects and AS level subjects. So that is something that we need to like do like a homework before we choose our subjects at A levels and AS levels. Because some of the universities say that no, we are okay with the child giving only AS levels, or some universities want a mandatory of at least 1 subject of A levels. So that will help the child decide what is the core subject that he wants to keep for advance and what is it that he wants to keep as a standard. So that's the idea. And there are 70 or different subjects to choose from on the website. However, it is very important that we visit our respective centers where the child would be appearing as an external candidate and ask them if they have the availability for those subjects or not. Because I have seen many cases in my so many years of experience where the child has prepared for good 1 year only to realize later that the school is not actually having that subject in their list, right? Because Cambridge takes charge of each subject from the school separately. So, you need to make sure that, say, you have chosen a different subject, like, say, art and design or global perspectives, which is not very commonly available for private candidates. So, we want to be a little careful about that. When we look at the entire grading system, it is now changed to A star to G, A star being the highest, which is 95 and above, and then going on to G. Now, if on a particular certificate, if the child has been marked as a U, that means that it is not evaluated for some reason. So it is ungraded. So U stands for ungraded. So that means that the child will either have to reappear for the paper, or due to some technical issues, the child has not been marked for that exams. Like my niece, when she had given her 12th exams, one of her paper, that was computer application or something, she got a U. So we were very worried about, like, why was she graded? Is she failed? Or, what exactly happened? So when we wrote an email to them, and the reply that we got was that the school had not paid the fees for the computer examination, is why there was a delay. And that is why all the children who had given that exam, their marks were kept on hold, and they were all given that U grade. So as soon as the school got the notice of this and they paid up, their marks were reflected, and we got a fresh mark sheet for the child. So that these are some things which can be, little concerning for the parent, because we don't have full information. So there's nothing to panic. We can just write an email and find out why the child was ungraded. Next is the exam series. Now, in India alone, we have the February-March series, which is specifically for Indian community, because our admission processes for the new academic session start somewhere in June. So by then, the report cards have to be there. So we have a March series. And apart from that, all the world around, we have June series and the November series as well. So it is our choice whether we want to give the March series, June or November, or you want to split your papers across the three series that are available. So maximum we can split it to three different cycles, and then you will get a different mark sheet. So that was another question that was raised by one of the parent, saying that do we get one mark sheet? So no, we get separate mark sheets for each cycle. But the center, if you're keeping your center constant, then what you could do is, once the child finishes all the papers, we could ask the school to give us a consolidated mark sheet, because some of the universities have a requirement of producing a consolidated mark sheet, and they wouldn't accept multiple mark sheets. Okay, or then they question, like, okay, why was the child giving so many attempts, or why did he spread it across 3 attempts or 2 attempts or 5 attempts, whatever it may be. So they start questioning. So either we need to be ready with the answers for that, or we need to request the school to give us one consolidated mark sheet towards the end of all the 5 or 6 whatever subjects the child has chosen. So that will give, like, that does specify, but which year and which cycle the child has given that particular paper, which is okay, which the universities are also okay with. Now a little more about Pearson Edexcel. Uh, the difference between IGCSE and Pearson is that in IGCSE we have about 70 subjects that we can choose from, whereas in Pearson Edexcel we have only 40 subjects. So there are some subjects that are dropped off. So you might want to check which are those subjects and whether your child is interested. Then accordingly choose Pearson or Edexcel. Sorry, Edexcel or IGCSE. Also, the grading system for Pearson is slightly different than IGCSE. So in IGCSE, we had A star to G grading system, and here you have from 1 to 9. So, often parents come and tell me that when we have been given the list of subjects on the Cambridge website, Very often you will see a 9-1 or a 1-9 written in front of the subject. So that is basically to show this demarcation in the grading system. So no need to get confused. You could go again back to the center and check with them what is the publication and what is the subject code that they are using for these exams. Syllabus wise, if you're comparing between Pearson and Edexcel books, syllabus wise, there is no much difference because, as I mentioned earlier, that both of these boards are coming under the AQA category of examinations. Like in India, we have the NTA, that is the National Testing Agency. Like that over there, they have the AQA, which is the General Qualitative Assessment Board. So their syllabus and content is exactly same, only the type of pattern of the paper is slightly different. Their cycles are again very similar to ours. They have a January cycle and we have a February March cycle. Then June cycle is similar to us and October November is also similar to us. So you could choose according to availability of the child on this as well. Now, so many times it's very confusing for us to choose our subjects because we have so many options, right? So, I always go by backward method that we plan what the child wants to do. So, we first do the brainstorming and talking with the child, understanding his dynamics, his working, what he wants to do, what she wants to do. So, future plans and perspective, and then do backward that, okay, what would be the subjects that would help the child to pursue that particular career. And I always believe in narrowing down the funnel. Reason being, we select 7 subjects, let the child explore all 7, free, go down to 6, and then select the 5. Because as I mentioned earlier, that we need a 2-year gap. We need to keep a 2-year gap so that the child is very well prepared. The minimum age of the child to give a 10th standard exam is 14, and for a 12th standard exam is 16. So we need to just keep that in mind. They're very strict about the age criteria. Rest, they're very flexible about the other things. Also, cross-checking with the centers, as I told, that once you are sure about your future plans and you have, kind of freezed your 7 subjects, you then go to the school and reconfirm with them that whether they are going to give you those options. If not, then you still have a window to go back and rework on your subject choice. So that's the kind of a process that we can follow so that we don't waste the child's time and effort in studying those subjects. So that is what I had to share. And now I'll open it for questions and I can take it up one by one.
Hi, can
Hi.
just know your background and how you got involved in this? A little bit introduction about yours, please.
Sure, sure. So, I have been an educator all my life. So, I'm a postgraduate in education and currently pursuing my PhD in alternate education with Pune University. So, I started my career as a teacher when I was just 16 because I was always into research and I never thought that I will ever get into teaching line. But I think it's my calling and I am very passionate about what I do. So that's how my journey started. So I've worked with different schools as a coordinator. I have worked with across the boards. So I got an opportunity to work with IGCSE boards as well as CBSE boards and state board schools as well. And working with underprivileged children, I got to understand their needs as well. So that kept me, on my to kind of figure out more about education, and I'm kind of stuck with it for now. And currently, I author books for Cambridge and Oxford as well. So I write books for them for mathematics, science, and literacy. So that's a little of my background. And as you all know, that I run an academy for homeschoolers called Sandbox, which is right from grade 1 to grade 12. We are basically dealing in making a community for our children so that they are not left alone or there is some kind of peer learning that happens. And also, we take separate tutoring sessions for grade 10 and 12 to prepare for their examinations, whether it is in iOS or whether it is IGCSE.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Sulba, you mentioned age.
Yeah.
You said that there is a particular age when you can admit the child,
Yeah.
I mean, enroll the child for the exam.
Hmm.
So, is there a maximum age?
No. So with maximum age, thanks for asking that question. Actually, it slipped my mind. So what happened is we had one of our unschooler friend who is 22. So when I was doing a little research for him, I found out from Cambridge that actually he doesn't need to give his 10th. So what he's doing now is he is directly going to apply for AS levels, so without a 10th standard certification, because he's 20 plus. So what Cambridge has done is, for the children who are little older than 20, they are giving them a privilege of directly attempting AS levels without giving O levels. So that's an advantage.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there a prerequisite that what is the passing marks for 10th and that does it have a bearing on the 12th grade to even write?
So there is no passing mark as such. What they're doing is they just have after G grade is what they consider as fail. So they don't have really pass fail kind of a concept, or ungraded, like the U thing. So what I remember is their papers are out of like 56 or 70 odd numbers. So they take a total of all of those and 35% of the total of across your papers. Like you have one paper of MCQ, you have one paper of your theory, for example. Then they'll take the total of that and 35% of that is your passing. And also there are two parts to it. Like you can do a core or you can do an extended in the same subject. So if you're doing like a core, it's basically very, what do you say, very simple for the child. And if you're doing an extended version of the same thing, then it's a little more in detail. And on the textbooks also, Cambridge textbooks also, these two areas are very well demarcated. So either, they will highlight the extended portion or they will mention that this is for extended. So things like that. So it will give us a lot of clarity, what we want to do. Like, for example, I know my son wants to, has to do physics for his further goals, but he doesn't need a very advanced physics. So what I aim for him is just doing core physics. So not the extended part of it. So I can easily skip out the ones that are marked or highlighted in for extended syllabus.
I lost you for the network, but please see if I'm understanding correctly that for going to 12th grade, the 10th grade bearing is above G.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
Hey, Shulba, Anupama here. Thank you for the session. Sorry, have I interrupted anyone?
Yeah. One last question.
Go ahead.
Just to understand, if they have done AS and A level, how easy it is to crack O level?
So O level comes before the AS levels.
Yes. So backward, I'm just checking. If they are learning on an AS and A level, how difficult or relearning or unlearning they have to do an O level?
It's very easy because it's very easy if they are planning. So the thing is that their A levels or AS levels is as good as graduation studies. Like the depth that they are going into, the detailing is as good as a graduation level at Indian level. So if they are like prepared for that, your O levels are really simple.
Okay, because my boys, 12 and 11 and 13, they have done A level, AS level, and they're now stepping into A level, and they've not given a O level. So I just want to know, will they have to unlearn, or it's just it's easier for them to adapt O level?
Very easy, very easy.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but have they completed, Rajesh? They have completed their A levels, is it?
Yeah, they have finished their they have finished their AS level. Yes. AS level.
AS levels they've completed, like they've given an exam and got the marks.
No, they are still they're not doing. They're just doing that. They are planning to
They're
do
studying.
it. Yeah, they cannot apply for the exams, so they're only evaluating on the 20 years exam question papers.
Okay, and how old are they?
One is 11 and one is 13.
One is 11 and one is 13. Okay, so then they will easily be able to do their O levels.
Got it. And the only thing is that they are studying physics, chemistry, and maths, but German and English. So they can apply these for O level also, right? I need only find a school which accommodates.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So these 5 subjects can be the same ones that they are giving in the O levels as well, you know.
Got it, got it, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Hey, Shilpa, thank you for the time. Anupama here.
Yes, hi, Anupama.
So I have very young children, so but still, my question was, I have been a pretty average student while I was being schooled, and got pretty average marks in maths and sciences. So how can I, as a parent, prepare myself to homeschool children using a Cambridge curriculum? I know it's the quality is very good, and so how challenging it would be if I pursue this. My older one is in UKG right now, so from grade 1 I'm planning to start using the Cambridge curriculum. So I wanted, if you have anything to add to this.
Okay, so it's in fact, it's very easy if you start at the younger levels. Reason being, you are already kind of preparing them, their mindset to write or understand the question or the syllabus in a particular way. And if you think that, it's a bit, so also Cambridge curriculum is not very easy to teach. So what I would recommend in that case is that you could buy something which is called as the manuals. So they do have something called manuals for each subject. So if you read the manual, you'll get an idea about, what is expected or what kind of activities you can do with the children. And now Cambridge has another part which is called as Cambridge Go, which is also a very home learning specific kind of a content that they're coming up with. So that is having even your lesson plans and activities planned for you. So parents can just pick up any activity, anything, and start preparing. Also, the textbooks for Cambridge are available on Amazon free. I mean, not free, but very easily. So you could just buy, say learner book 1, book 2, and keep practicing with the child. So it's very simple.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Sulma, I have another question.
Yeah.
If a child chooses core and another one chooses extended, what advantage does the extended one have over the core curriculum? I mean, in the future, I mean.
Okay, so when it comes to core and extended, from the learner's perspective, there's a vast difference, because when we are making the child do extended, there is more depth and more breadth to the whole content. So I think if that's a particular subject that they would want to pursue in future also, I would recommend that even if they give a core paper, for the paper's sake, I'm saying, they should study the extended syllabus and prepare only, like write only the core exam. That's fine, but at least for their own knowledge sake. So, but marks wise, or what do you say, the future, say admissions or something, that is not really affected much because of taking core or extended. That doesn't get affected, but from the learner's perspective, it's a vast difference.
Yeah, but I believe the grading is also different.
Slightly,
For example,
yes.
a core student cannot expect an A star.
Yes.
The maximum he can expect is a C.
Yes.
Whereas the extended
B
one
also,
can go up to,
sometimes they
yeah,
get
B
B
also.
also.
Yeah. So that is there.
That is there. Yeah, gradings are also a little differently done, because obviously they are learning a little less than compared to the ones who are doing extended. So
Hi, this is Preeti. Thank you for your presentation. I just wanted to know, see, if they do core and extended, so when you register with the school, do you tell them we have studied core or we have studied extended? Like the paper is different, right?
Paper is different. Yes, paper is different.
So the school will give you the paper that you have studied, is it, for the exam?
Correct. Yes, yes.
Okay.
So even the dates are different for your core and extended papers.
So when you register, you tell them what you've studied.
Yes, yes. And generally a good time to register is, say, for example, if my child is giving an exam in, say, March cycle, then it's always nice to go and meet the school somewhere in November.
Okay.
And, take the admission and, pay off the fees or whatever it is, so that your child's seat is secure. Because they need to also send the papers to Cambridge, and then they get the number and everything, enrollment number from there. So it takes some time for us to send the stuff. So it's nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
From the textbooks, Shima, how do we know that it is a core and extended?
So most of the textbooks have core and extended together. So as I said that the thing is marked. I don't know if I can show you. Yeah, I think I can show you. Okay, like for example, I have my math book here. So if you can see, the core and extended is there. Now, sometimes there are books which are specifically for advanced mathematics also. So in math also, there are a lot of variations. I'll just quickly get the other book and I'll share it with you once again. Yeah. Like for example, if you're doing the extended, you get a separate textbook as well for extended. And otherwise, if you're doing, say, your physics, and if I can show you the page. Yeah, so you would see over here that, the print is in a different color. So it's all green. And it's written over here, like this is marked, right? This particular thing. So that shows that this syllabus is not for the core children. It is for extended. So the entire part. So you could check on the textbooks as well. And also, since we are at it, if ever anybody needs to buy textbooks in India, please get in touch with me. Since being an Oxford employee, I get a 25% discount on the books. So I could connect you all to this person who is a vendor in India, and he will deliver the books at your residence at 25% discount. Any textbook. So if you need anything, let me know.
And can they be soft copy with the CD, right?
Yeah, so soft copy comes like you have a scratch code here, a scratch code which is valid for 2 years. So once you get the textbook, you can scratch code it, and the e-textbook is also available. And also, if you don't want a physical copy and you just want a e-textbook, that's also possible.
So sorry.
Yeah.
The textbooks that you're mentioning, with a 25% discount, is it also for the teacher's resource?
Teacher resource, I'll have to check, but I'll check with them and find out.
Hi Shulba, Vandana here. Could you just show me that textbook which you just showed with the green and the, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and the previous one?
Previous one was extended, and so that's the extended book.
Okay.
Math. Okay. Yeah, this is different. So this is exclusively for the extended syllabus, and then you have one more textbook which is having both together, core and extended.
Okay. So my child is enrolled to IGCSE through Wolsey Hall, and she's taken a physics, chemistry, biology, maths, English and English literature, and computer science. So would those subjects also have that core and extended,
Yes.
or how would they be
Yes.
treated?
They would have a core and extended. So maybe you could talk to one of their admin people and find out what the child is doing. So they must have already made the evaluation.
Yeah, I mean, no, they didn't really mention about the core and extended at that point of time, but I'll just show the book that they,
Sure.
this is the book that they gave. Would this be?
Yes, yes, yes. It has both. It's like that physics book that I showed you. So it would have both extended as well as core.
So if she's her exams would be different if she's planning to take extended then?
Yeah, so I can just show you all 1 minute. Say for example, we go to this site, right? When you go to past papers. So if I'm going for say IGCSE, right? So they have say we take bio. So they will have, you know, PDFs which will be showing you that that's I think the syllabus, sorry. Okay, I can't find the paper, but usually the paper does mention whether it is core or extended. That is mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So extended subject is easier for grading, you say, right? That's what you meant.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually my daughter plans to pursue pure sciences and she plans to get into either ICSE basically because of the way IU is now changed its stand. So would the transition from IGCSE extended be easier during her ICSE 11th and 12th?
Yes.
Or would she have to do some subjects that bridge the gap?
No, not really, because it's quite extensive,
Okay.
the IGCSE curriculum.
And how about schools in India, like especially in Bangalore, do they insist on transfer certificates, eligibility certificate?
Yeah, they do. But at
How
10th
do we?
standard level, it's not very cumbersome because, you know, they are very okay with them because they are getting the child in college, right? So
Right.
it's not very difficult. The AIU thing basically comes into perspective only after grade 12.
So when she's entering her 11th and 12th in a school, would they ask for eligibility certificate?
No, just the mark sheet will be enough.
Okay. And the mark sheet would be as per the grading based on core
Yes.
or extended.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Also, wanted to check once in the 10th grade also, do they ask for a TC?
No, not really. Because our document does mention private candidate, na? So that is assumed that the child is not being a regular schooler.
Got it.
Yeah.
Shilpa, another doubt, like since you said that you also have this online tutoring for students for 10th standard, how does that work along with this Wolsey Hall system? Because they also have a tutoring system, right?
So ours is, yeah, but we do like a face-to-face class every day, Monday to Friday.
Okay.
Depending on their subjects, they have been given dates and then we do it accordingly. And we
Okay.
don't take too many students also. The reason being that it dilutes the whole purpose of, you know, educating them in a more positive manner,
Okay.
you know, than just for helping them to get marks, right? So that's not the agenda here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, do we need to inform the Wolsey Hall now that we'll be opting for extended, or should we wait for next year because our exams are in 2024?
24, na? Yeah, I think they will only get in touch with you all and find out. But otherwise, there's no harm dropping an email and just understanding, no? So I
Okay,
think
sure.
drop an email and check, or if you get a chance to talk to the coordinator directly, drop an email to
Okay.
them and find out.
Okay.
They will be in a better position to tell you that whether they've already done the evaluation or they still have to do, or what do they suggest.
Or they do an evaluation after the first year of IGCSE,
I
is it?
think so, yeah.
Okay.
So I had only one student who was there with Wosley Hall, so I have no information firsthand or who have gone through the whole process, because most of them, because it's very expensive, now they leave it halfway through. They don't take it through and through. So I have no idea basically how they'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
Sulbha, I have another question.
Yeah.
For each subject, for example, let's take mathematics. In mathematics itself, IGCSE offers kind of three different mathematics subjects, and each one has a different code number. Now, how are we to know which is the code number which is more relevant to our country? Is there any information?
Right. So I can give you two code numbers which I know are there in India for sure. Once I'll tell you immediately. Okay, I'll find out. It's not written on this textbook at least, but it is one is I think 500 for sure. I know. One sec, let me
Yeah, 500. Yeah.
500 is there for sure, which is like the black book that I showed you. That's the 500 one. But apart from that, check. One sec. I think it is 0580, something like that.
Yeah, because for a first timer, see, my daughter, my second one, she had already done her Cambridge, so she had some books here. So, looking at those books, I could make out the numbers that were allotted to those subjects. But for first timers, they would be confused as to which one is the one to pick.
Right.
So they would probably need some guidance on that.
Right. I will get back to you on the numbers. I'm not able to find them right now, but I will find it and let you know. So there are, I think, 4 books, I think. 4 are there. I will find. So what we can do now, so that's what I do with my students at Sandbox is I give them the PDF version of the books. Okay. And I tell them to go through it once before buying the physical textbook because, the textbooks also aren't cheap. They are also quite expensive. So how many textbooks will we buy? And they should be of some importance to them also later. So what I do is I give them the e-version and I tell them to sit with it, work around, do some more numericals for about say 2-3 months and then decide which one they are able to do. Also, one of the maths textbooks that I know, I think it's additional mathematics, has a more of analytical part in it. So if tomorrow we are choosing a field, say in data sciences, for example, then additional mathematics would be a better bet instead of going for extended alone. So we have to check on those terms also, evaluating the curriculum from future prospects.
Okay, Silba, one more question. One of my friends whose son is going to appear for his exam maybe in 23, she was mentioning to me that each and every paper, for example, any subject, you have an MCQ and then you also have a proper theory. And if it's a science subject, then there's also coursework, alternative
ATP.
to coursework, practical, sorry.
Yeah.
So I believe there are certain specific ones for India. Is that true? Or, it could be just when you go through the past question papers, if you want your child to do many past papers, there are certain ones specific to India. So how true is that?
So don't go for those 9-1 wala papers. Go for the ones that are normally graded from A to G because those are the ones that are valid in India. In India, we are not giving the 9-1 scale, except for if you're doing it through Pearson. So you could choose the papers accordingly.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, Sulba.
Hi.
Hi, I'm sorry I joined in late. So, I missed, I'm sure you'll share the recording.
Yes.
So I have 2 of my kids and we just started homeschooling this year. And so they were previously in IGCSE school. So I'm continuing the curriculum because I've gone through with my older one. So he's right now in 5th grade. So I've heard of Wolsey Hall and I heard some parent also speaking about it, but yeah, it is expensive and I'm not very sure how it works. But if you could just tell me, how does Sandbox come alongside you?
So sandbox is, as I said, that it is for right from grade 1. The idea behind sandbox was that we wanted children. Basically, my son is also homeschooled for 13 years, so he wanted company. Is why sandbox came into being. Okay, and and then I saw that it is helping so many other families who, if had a desire to homeschool, but they were working and or not equipped with all subjects. So the sandbox like plays a role where they are getting everything under one roof and many more things beyond also, not just exam centric, but we do a lot for the children and their overall development as well. Like for example, we have something called Grown Ups Day, where we call one industry expert to talk to the child, and the children are free to ask questions about it. I just had one event some days back where I'm working with a team from Germany, and we are developing this app where the child can sit at home and still do all the lab work using immersive technology. So there are a lot of things that we keep exposing our children to. And this year we are celebrating our 10th anniversary at Sandbox. So we are going to have something called as a Career Mela, where we are going to have internships for these young children so that they will get an exposure and find out that okay, whether this field is going to suit my personality or my needs. As an individual, we all have been gifted with different talents, right? So whether I'm able to use these talents is what the child will be able to find at a younger age, then going through the whole process of completing the studies, going for a job, and then realizing that okay, this was not for me. So we are just trying to do certain things. So that's how Sandbox has been there for the homeschoolers for some time. And then also we do these parent workshops where we are educating parents to know more, because the world out there can be very confusing. And not everybody has that much of time also to go through, the entire website, find details, do the research and all of that. So we help parents in those areas as well.
Okay, thanks so much. Yeah, that's how I also came across y'all when y'all did the first Zoom session. A friend of mine had posted that. And then I had the understanding that I want to continue with IGCSE, but I just didn't know with all these messages coming up that is this going to happen? It's going to be accepted and all of these things. So I think I still have a long road to understand. So currently I'm just following these only books.
Correct.
Because this is what this is what they did last year. So I just bought the book next, and that's what we are doing.
Correct. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so
That's the way.
yeah. So y'all are based in Pune, right? So I'm based in
Yes.
Mumbai.
Right.
So when these career melas and all these happen, it's open to
Everything
everybody.
is online. Everything is online.
Online. Oh,
So, yes.
oh yeah,
Yes.
that's it.
Yes.
They're in
Yeah,
a good,
because we
good
have
time
children
now.
across India, so that helps us to kind of connect with many more families, not just area specific. So that's the
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you, Sulba.
yes.
Sulba, Rajesh here again.
Yes.
So is there a link or something like that, a registration process with the Sandbox events that you do and the community that you have built?
Yeah, so what I do generally is I drop the events on the groups, and then there is a registration link for that particular event. But if you all want, like, if you all think that you all would be interested in such events, then I could just add you all to the broadcast list and keep sending you the messages. So if that's the case, you can just, after this meeting, drop me a hi and I could add your number to the broadcast list.
Got it. You're in the same group, right?
Yeah, the Christian
Christian.
homeschooling. Yes.
Got it. One last thing you mentioned, the 9-1 series versus Pearson. What can you just double click on that? I didn't get a hang of that.
So 1 second, I'll just open up my slide again. You're able to see my screen right now, no? Yeah, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the grading system is what you want me to repeat?
No, the textbook, you said in India, this textbooks are not valid, do not go through the Pearson route. So I just wanted to get that double click on that.
Yeah, but where are you based off?
Bengaluru.
So then in down south, Pearson is very well, I mean, very nice response in south. So maybe you could want to go by that route also. I mean, you keep your option open is what I mean.
Got it. So what is this 911 series? You said the textbooks that
So I'll show you 1 minute. For some odd reason, I'm not able to open the textbook wala thing. 1 second. Yeah, I found it finally. Is my screen visible?
Not yet.
Okay, 1 second. Now? Can you all see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so these ones, right? So for example, if you're doing math, so you will have to consider. So once you click on the link, now they will
Yeah.
tell you which one is specific for India.
Okay.
So these are the total detailed syllabus. So that tells you the link.
Got it.
That's what I meant.
Got it. Okay.
And also go to your exam center. That those are the best people because they will be using the same books.
Okay. Okay.
Sulma, how does one enroll in Sandbox Academy even if we have to guide someone else?
So the protocol is simple, like they can just send a message and then we could send the details, the link and all, and then they can join. So it's very simple, nothing very complicated.
So it's not through the website?
No, not through the website.
How much is that the cost per year for a Sandbox program? Is that data available?
It goes around 60,000 or 70,000 a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many subjects does that include, Sulma?
So if you're looking at, say, this would be somewhere around for till grade 8, I'm saying, till grade it would go about 7 to 8 subjects. And then at grade 9 and 10, which is like the 2-year 10th and 12th, we are charging somewhere around 3,000 per subject because then it gets very, focused, exam oriented. So that we are charging somewhere around 3,000 odd per subject. And depending on how many subjects you want to take in.
3,000 rupees per subject per month?
Per month, yeah. Per month, yeah. So roughly there would be 8 to 10 classes.
So each subject, so when you do it per month, so how many classes a month does the student take?
Roughly 8.
Per month. So
Yeah.
that's twice a week, you mean?
Yeah, twice a week. Yeah.
Okay.
But we take a call, like, depending on the child's availability. Sometimes they don't want 2 sessions. They want only 1. So that can be more specific. And then suppose if they're enrolling for those entire 2 years, then what we're doing is we're charging according to the whole curriculum completion. So that becomes much more easier. So the entire 2 years, instead of paying per month, because that gets expensive, then we can just charge for the whole subject. So there are multiple options that are available, even in terms of this, because we want the flexibility of the parent, right? Not just the institute.
Okay.
Any other question? Did we miss any of the questions that were posted on the group? I think I tried to cover most of them.
So when you enroll your child as a private candidate with the local school, all you need to do is just contact them and give them the details of the child, and they do the whole process, right?
They do the whole process, yes.
Okay. And then they give you the hall ticket and the dates and everything they will take care of.
Everything they take care.
Okay. So you pay them a fee for that, for doing
Yes.
that.
So
Yeah,
what they do in Pune is some of the schools have told us to pay a lump sum of 50,000. So where I am going to put my kid, he has told me that pay me 50,000 as an administration fee, which is one time. And then per subject, they've asked me to pay around 6,500, which is the Cambridge fee per subject. So even if I roughly calculate the whole thing, it goes to somewhere around 70 to 80,000. You know, so I've told parents to keep like a budget of say about 1 lakh, just to be on the safer side, because some of the other schools I have seen in Pune only, they are charging around 12,500 per subject. So even if you're doing it that way, if you're calculating, then it goes to somewhere around 60, 70,000. So that's a good amount to keep reserve.
So Silva, when do you enroll as a private student? I mean, is there any academic year
5 months
7th grade
before
or,
the 5 months before the exam cycle.
the
So
final exams, you mean? I mean,
yeah, final exam of boards. So for example,
of boards.
boards. So say for example, if I was to give this November cycle, I would have contacted them 5 months prior to it. So that's a good timeline because they need some time.
Okay. And if you also want to do these point exams, then you can do them.
Checkpoint exams, you'll have to go personally to the school and request them. And then it depends whether they'll allow or they wouldn't. That's completely their call. Most of the schools don't allow.
Okay. So okay.
Yeah. So my suggestion usually is if you all want to give checkpoint exams, not just download the past papers and you yourself evaluate. That's the better bet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And these past papers, you would get them on
Cambridge
online?
website. Yeah, Cambridge website. Cambridgeinternational.org. You get it on that.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Sulpa. I have one question. Say my child has taken subjects and one particular school is not offering all the subjects for exam, for IGCSE.
Right.
So can she give like few exams in one center and the
Yes.
other exams and rest?
Yes, that's allowed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but then you might just want to be a little careful with that, is because later if you need a consolidated mark sheet, you wouldn't get that if you're changing your center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So might as well do it all in one is my sincere suggestion, because then they create a very big fuss about giving a consolidated mark sheet.
Okay.
Sulba, I had a question.
Yeah.
See, like you're talking about core and extended, but is core and supplement also the same?
No.
What is the supplement?
Supplement is not very common in India. Supplement is basically a additional part to the topic.
So, so actually my daughter is thinking of doing only the coordinated sciences.
Okay.
So, it doesn't matter, right? Like
No.
whatever she's.
Yes.
So in the book, do we have to like see they like you said, they demarcate supplement and
yes.
core. So when you study that, does that make a difference, or you just do everything? And
no, I always recommend that do everything.
Do everything. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions? All right. Then thank you so much, everyone, once again for joining in. And my number is on the group in case you'll need any specific help, you can reach out to me. Thank you for joining. I'll stop recording and I will share the link with you all soon.